Hey everyone, welcome back to my platform. Some of y'all know that I do walk in the office of a prophet, and while God was first grooming me for this office of obedience, because that's what it is, to speak His word whenever He tell me to speak His word, I didn't want to do it. I was really, really young in God. I was like maybe mid 20s, late 20s, and God wanted me to give a specific prophetic word to a pastor's wife. And I didn't want to do it because I don't like being in other people's business. You do what you want to do. I'm over here doing what I want to do. You do you, boo. That was my attitude. The guy was like, that has nothing to do with what I called you to do. And so I tried to ignore what God was saying. I mean, I tried to go to bed, go to sleep. My sleep was taken away from me. I wasn't getting any rest. I was being convicted in my spirit because I was walking in disobedience. And then one day, the pastor's wife called me on the phone and she said to me on the telephone, she said, Lois, she said, God says you have a word for me. Are you going to tell me what he said? And I thought to myself, ain't this something? God gonna tell her I have a word, but he not gonna tell her again what the word is. He gonna make me tell that word. And so I said, okay. So I didn't want to do it on the phone. I said, let's meet face to face. So we met face to face, and I begrudgingly gave that word. I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. I was like, God, this is the most embarrassing thing you've ever asked me to do for you. Why couldn't you just tell this woman his word? And so, when God, through his spirit, is talking to people and they ignore him, he will send his servants to people. He still does that today. And since then, I grew out of that disobedience. I grew out of that not wanting to get in other people's business because I didn't want to be involved and just obeying God. Like when he's asking me to say certain things, I just say it now. You know what I'm saying? Like I got over it. I grew up in God in that prophetic gift. So you know today God placed it in my heart to speak directly to President Trump. When people do something good, you have to tell them. Like, you cannot ignore that. And some great things have been happening as far as the United States of America stop funding the mRNA vaccine. I'm very excited about that. That was a 5-year prayer on my end. I've been asking God to step in and stop all that nonsense and that madness that was going on. Because I have inside information, from what God was showing me and telling me, and from just working with humanity, that madness needs to stop. Okay, there's a better way to build the immune system, God's way. Okay, God gave you vitamins and minerals. He gave you natural healing herbs. Okay, I told you vitamin D is directly linked to your immune system. Make sure you get your vitamin D levels checked on an annual basis to make sure your immune system is strong. And you have to eat right. You have to come off all them chemicals on the food. And you got to increase your fruits and your vegetables, your grains like your quinoas. You know what I'm saying? And take excellent care of your body and ask your doctor if you can do some internal cleansing. Flush out your kidneys, flush out your liver, flush out your bowel, your blood, your gallbladder. You know what I'm saying? There's things that I've taught you about on my social media platform as a nurse. So I just want to make sure I share that information with you guys. And I did send, actually, I sent 2 messages to President Trump today. The second one was just basically, when he does something good, I like to acknowledge it, and I let him know that if his heart is positioned properly with God, where he is being kind and compassionate and understanding and not jealous hearted and not biased and all the stuff that people tend to have in their heart, you know, if your heart is positioned right with God, God will hear you when you're praying. But if you have, you know, corruption in your heart, trying to set people up to fail, all this wicked stuff going on in your heart, when you pray, your prayer is not going nowhere because it's connected to filth. It's connected to ungodliness. You have to get your heart right with the Lord when you're looking for answers to prayers. Now, if your heart is wrong and you foul and you ask God for forgiveness, okay, and you ask God in your heart, He gonna hear that prayer. I don't care how foul and how dirty you are. If you ask God for forgiveness and change your wicked ways, God will hear and answer your prayer. He will definitely come into your life. But if you are going through this earth on purpose, destroying people's lives and just being wicked and foul and just evil, God ain't gonna hear your prayers. And prayers ain't going nowhere. Okay? They'll go up two inches and come straight back down on the ground. Because God's not going to hear wickedness, okay? Again, if you're wicked and you want to ask God in your heart and your life, He will hear that prayer. But if you just being wicked and you not trying to get your heart position right with God and do right by people and do right by humanity, He's not going to hear it. You're not going to get no prayers answered like that, okay? So I just wanted to stop by and share that with you because I saw President Trump do something that it needed to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's thinking about bringing the immigrants back. Whatever reasons he has for that, just bring them back and reunite them with their family. That is a great thing to do. Whatever the reasons are, you bring people back with their families. Let the families, the husbands and wives and children and everybody come back together, okay? So this is Prophetess Nurse Lois. I just wanted to share how I flow in my prophetic gifts, and I do speak to power. Like, I'm not out here like these other prophets, saying one thing and not telling the whole truth. Lord gonna tell the whole truth. Okay, we gonna tell the truth and give people an opportunity to get their heart right with the Lord. So yeah, at the beginning of my walking as a prophet, I did not like releasing prophetic gifts. I still don't enjoy it. I do it because God tells me to do it. Like he'll tell me to release a word. And I've told you guys before that I released prophetic words to President Bush Sr. by sending him a children's book that I wrote for his grandchildren. I was called in to Washington, D.C., and I attended a special event, had a wonderful time, just being obedient to God. God has used me to release prophetic words to kings and prime ministers and all kinds of things. So yeah, when you're a child of God, you tell the truth and you obey God and you don't go around lying and telling half truths. This is Prophetess Nurse Lois. God bless you.